Hi, welcome to The Shed. My name is Mr. H, and this is our one-a-day musicianship challenge brought to you by Bob Rogers Travel. This is the fourth episode in our swing lap drumming series, and in this episode, Rocky Martin is going to walk you through some different combinations of eighth notes on the snare drum. This is great to unlock your ability to play some syncopated patterns behind a section or behind a soloist, to inspire them, and to have more fun sounding good together. Here we go.
Welcome to the shed. Here we go with our fourth video, continuing from our eighth notes along the grid. This is eighth note combinations. Tempo, same place. Right hand and left foot are the same as they were. We're going to kind of combine different eighth note possibilities now. Here is a 1, 2, there's our time. We're going to do the and of 1 and the and of 2 now. A 1 and 2, here we go. A 1 and. 1 and. If you're comfortable singing it first, that's fine. A 1 and. Eventually add in your left hand. A 1 and. 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 Good. We're going to do the and of 2 and the and of 3 now, moving it right along the grid. We can sing it first. Ready, go. A 1, 2, and. A 1, 2, and. Add in your hand whenever you're ready. A 1, 2, and. A 1, 2, and. A 1, 2, and. A 1, 2, and. Good. And. A 1, 2, and. A 1, 2, and. A 1, 2, and. Awesome. We're going to move it along to the and of 3 and the and of 4. A 1, 2, a 1 and 2, and a 3 and 4, a 2, a 3, and a 3 and 1, 2, a 3 and 1, 2, a 3 and. The more you can count out loud, the better for your time. And 1, 2, a 3 and a 3 and good. And all right, now we're gonna get a bit feisty here. We're gonna do the and of 1 and the and of 3. A 1, 2, here we go. A 1 and 3. A 1 and a 3 and a 1 and a 3 and a 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and. This one's also close to your left foot, so be careful. Take some time with this one. And a 1 and a 3 and 4. A 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And. Great. You can go back and rewind that if that one was tricky for you. Here's the end of 2 and the end of 4. 2. A 1, a 2, you can count it first. A 1, a 2, and 4, and 2, and 4, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, a 4, and 1, a 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, a 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, a 2, and 3, and 4, and good. And a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and awesome. We're gonna do beats and of 1, and of 2, and of 3. Here we go. First 3 beats. So 1 and a 1 and a 1 and a 1 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's hard not to lose your breath. And a 1 and great. Now we're gonna move that over. We're gonna do ands of 2, ands of 3, and of 4. 1, 2. Here we go. A last 3 beats. So 1, 2, and a 2, 1 and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and awesome. Now we're gonna do all 4 beats. This will be the last one for now. 2 ands of all the beats go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This one right here is what I call the doodle-la exercise. I want you to try saying a doodle-la, 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 doodle-la. Might take you a while to get there singing it while playing it, but this is what I talk to a lot of my students about. how to swing that and how to get those triplets working. Say doodle la 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 doodle la. If you need to take your left foot out, you could do that. Ah doodle la 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 doodle la. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and add in the foot. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Great. Thanks everybody. That has been eighth note combinations around the grid.